Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flipping It Easy. My shirt's all over the place. It doesn't matter. How was your weekend, guys? Holiday weekend. I was afraid that this weekend would be just garbage for sales, and Saturday kind of didn't disappoint with that statement. Didn't have the greatest of days, but I kind of just brushed it off as okay. Wasn't going to do too well this weekend, but we'll see what happens. Spent a lot of time with friend from out of town and that kind of stuff, playing a lot of golf and just getting away for a little bit. But Sunday really turned around, and yesterday was a really good day. So turned out to be a above average holiday weekend. And I'm just curious to know how your sales were. Put your comments in the chat. Let me know how things went for you this weekend. And I count the Monday also as part of the weekend. So it's kind of like a 4-day bunch together. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is kind of the way I look at it. May has usually been for me just kind of a blah month, nothing to get excited about. And in fact, the last couple of years, May has been one of those months where it's starting to show the transition from spring to the summer slowdown. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. And how do you manage that? How do you manage the summer slowdown? And we've kind of talked about it here and there, but we're here now. After Memorial Day hits, that's kind of the unofficial kickoff to summer. Kids are out of school for the most part. Families are doing things together. And historically, good times or bad, we can talk about the economy all we want, but historically, the summer months have been kind of questionable for most sellers. You generally don't get as many sales as you do the first few months of the year and Q4. So let's talk about that. What are your plans? What are you going to do differently? Are you going to do anything differently? What do you normally do to balance out slow sales that occur in the summer? So let's talk about that. If you're here with us today, of course, your comments and questions help drive the program. Please, comment, ask your questions. Guys, we're here. There's a lot of knowledgeable people that are in the chat that can help you. If you're dealing with something reselling eBay related and you kind of have an idea, but maybe not sure, you know what? It's always best to have another set of eyes, or in this case, we usually have about 150 sets of eyes that watch the live stream at any given time.
I'm glad you said sets, because I was going to say there's more than that.
Well, it could have more eyes than that. But I mean, you're just talking about one screen. There could be a lot of people in front of that screen. But we're here to help. That's the whole point of this channel. That's the whole point of this live stream. Of course, we have a community. We like to get together and talk shop, but it's your comments and questions that really drive this content. So if you're not with us live, of course, please comment down below. It's not all the time you're going to be able to make the lives, and maybe you never make the lives and just watch these after the fact, but it's still good to hear from you. And you're still going to have questions. Maybe you're going to be dealing with something tomorrow or after this thing goes live. I still try to get in there and answer the comments and questions that people need to make. But no matter how you're watching this, hit the like button, guys. It's really the way to show YouTube that we have a good community here. It puts the word out to other resellers that we have a pretty good thing going in this channel. So I'd appreciate you guys doing that. Now, you guys can see behind me, I have cases upon cases or display cases for footballs, basketballs, little mini helmets. That's like about half. You really don't even get to see like the stuff that's over here on this side more. That is just out of the picture. But I just ordered some boxes from Uline, and they have pretty good prices on boxes. The shipping's really expensive because I guess they have these 1-day shipping programs. So I'll get these boxes tomorrow. So I'll start listing these, getting the listings done tonight and launch them tomorrow so that I can be sure that I have the adequate boxes to ship. I have a same-day shipping policy, and I want to make sure I have all my supplies before I, get these things sold. So if you haven't seen the video I put out yesterday, it's talking about, this whole lot behind me. I don't want to really go into it now, but it's stepping out of my comfort zone. That's one of the things that I've done this year, and maybe that's the answer to maybe stopping or slowing down a summer slowdown, if that makes sense. Maybe your store that you're dealing with historically doesn't do well in the summer. Well, what's to stop you from either adding different product to that store, or maybe even opening up a new store, sort of like a fallback store like we have set up, to try different things. So that's something that maybe we can consider if you haven't done before. You just never know until you know, right? Like these behind me. I have a general idea how they're going to do, but I've never sold these kind of very fragile, like bulky. Yeah, we sell bulky, but not fragile, right? So trying to deal with that, it's sort of a nervous thing that we're jumping into. But you know what? You got to be uncomfortable. Lastly, wanted to talk to you about something kind of strange that happened with our accounts late last night. Sitting there watching TV late last night, and Jen is like, "Look at this message." So she has the message on her secondary account. Turns out the same message was sent to my main account, and it was someone who's selling these safety toilet seats that you guys know that we sell.
The good old toilet seats.
Yeah, and the message was fairly comical because you don't expect these kind of things to surface when you're selling on eBay, but it's a first for me. And this person, I'll just call him Stubby, which is fairly accurate, right? Because that's the name he went by. It's his username on eBay. Sends me a message. He said, "Stupid question. Are you so desperate to make $20 that you have to lowball the hell out of this item? Amazon sells us for $149.99 and you're selling it for 70% below retail. After you sell and ship, you'll be lucky to make $20 after shipping. eBay fee and sponsoring it at an additional 10%. I don't get it. There are 90 million old people in the country, and you'll have no problem selling it at $89.99 or even $99.99. Yes, I'm sending this to all you lowballers. You're ruining the market. If you want to sell it so cheap, put it on Facebook or offer up. I just don't understand why you'd let eBay make more of this than you. I sell them all day long at $87.99 and it's still cheap as hell. I guess you must need the $16 that you'll make." Yeah, and then he goes on to send a screenshot to me that his 90-day total is $14,000. So, yeah, it's like, okay, what are you trying to prove here? Are you trying to throw that as a brag? I don't get it. But mainly I replied, of course, I'm going to reply. I mean, this is a misconception this person has. Looking at my secondary account, I actually have put a couple of these items on the secondary account with free shipping. Now, you guys know I get these items for like $5. I have a very discounted shipping agreement with FedEx. So aside from eBay is going to take their share. Yeah, I'm into the item at a very low cost, low shipping, and like 20-something% fees with eBay, but I'm still able to make money. And to have people so upset. Now, I looked at his account, had 100 items in his store, and there's nothing wrong with running a lean store, but not making a whole lot of sales. So it almost seems to me he's lashing out. If he's saying that he's sending it to all us lowballers, I got it on my main account. So he's finding all the similar items he's selling and sending this nasty message. And, I noticed a couple things. He leaves the false positive for buyers, which you shouldn't do. You can get in trouble for. But the guy entirely uses stock photos on every listing. There's no indication he's not a drop shipper. He doesn't have a single photo of his own. And I don't mind using those kind of photos, stock photos, to supplement your photos. Let's say you have a tent you're selling. Well, I don't expect you to set up a tent in your front yard and take photos of it. maybe show the tent that's not assembled in the box, and then maybe supplemental stock photos, that type of thing. But this guy is using stock photos like just, like it's going out of style. And so you have the gall to reach out to other resellers and to scold them, right? Like you are some kind of, I don't know, like maybe you're the listing monitor for eBay. I don't know. But yeah, I just never seen that before. Have you guys encountered anything remotely? You can't make this up. And of course the guy's defensive and saying, well, and I said, you shouldn't attack sellers. It's not right. No seller's got it down perfectly, but for you to spend time to write this diatribe and to scold sellers is just not right. And like, I didn't attack anyone. Well, you guys tell me, what do you think? How would you feel if you received that message? Kind of attacked, right? So that's just me and my soapbox. Only took 11 minutes today. So hopefully we can get some good content. And, again, let's talk about what your plans are this summer. Are you going to just, stay the course and do what you normally do? Or are you going to make little changes? Now, for me, I haven't seen a slowdown yet. And I guess you could say you can maybe be proactive and, have a plan for that, which you should. For me, it's getting more items listed. And I generally don't count how many items I put up, but it's a numbers game sometimes. If the number of buyers drops on the site because of the summer, right? They're not shopping as much, then we're going to have fewer opportunities collectively between all of us to get the sale. And the more items you have listed, the more opportunities you have to make a sale. If you're hovering at 100, maybe consider trying to get your items up to 150, maybe 200 during the summer. And the worst case that'll happen is once things start to pick up in the fall, you'll have even more opportunities when things start to heat up. So that's my advice, but I want to hear what you guys think down below. Jennifer V's in the house, finally made it to a live one. We have Guide Guru. Hey, I'm early, and thanks for being here early. Picky Ricky says, well, for summer, I have 23 LOL surprise child swim rings, about half a dozen used high-end sunglasses, a few bits of sporting equipment, a couple of pairs of swimming goggles for kids. I don't know if enough. It's hard to think what to stash to sell for the summer. It's the hardest season to stock for. And for me, I mean, I am looking when I'm actually doing my sourcing, I am considering, like, is this something that, someone can use now? I mean, we're still sitting on some clothing that we probably should be getting up, shorts and swimwear and stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense to wait. So that's something we're going to focus on. But, I've been passing on good deals on like winter jackets, snow blowers. I mean, I see those all day long and they're, fairly cheap because they're out of season, but I don't have a warehouse. If I had a warehouse, I'd be storing and buying a lot of these things to hold until we got to, September, October, that type of thing. So because I don't, I'm very picky about what I'm doing. And so if I find something summer related, I'm more apt to take a chance. Now in a few months, those summer items, I'm not going to be on. I'm going to be looking for taking chances on those snow blowers, if that makes sense. So you got to consider that when you're sourcing.
But I would imagine that people who live where there's snow, they know they can get a better deal on the off season. So if you were to put them up, I'm sure they would sell because those people have storage space.
Yeah, but for me, I'm not. A lot of people are reactive. Fewer people are proactive. A lot of people are like, oh crap, they're saying a major storm's coming through here in a few days. I better get a snowblower, right? They're not spending their time in the summer thinking about how bad it's going to be in the winter. Some are. I mean, we can kind of chalk that up to the argument that, when times get rough, people don't buy collectibles and things of the wants, right? There's arguments to be made that people will, pass up eating dinner rather than miss out on this collectible item that they've been saving up on. I mean, I think that's a thing for some people, but I'm catering to the majority. The majority are more reactive than proactive when it comes to buying stuff that they need. Piggy Ricky says half a dozen thermos flasks and camping I have right now. Get them listed. That's camping stuff is definitely going to be good right now for many parts of the country. Maya Koyama says, as clothing seller, I really like to stock fishing and hunting themed items for the summer. Yes. Definitely hunting is good. Fishing is good. Those will do well through, July, August. So that's definitely a good idea. Guide Guru says, sold a Def Leppard 87 tour shirt yesterday. Got on high bid, $100. So how much you buy it on high bid? You're going to get a lot of people over there stealing your thunder, I think, if you keep mentioning. I think this is not the first time you've mentioned that. Let's see. Gail's in the house. Anyone deal in VHS tapes? Honestly, the only time I'll even consider buying a VHS tape is if the comps support it. But even then, I have a James Dean sealed VHS. The comp showed at the time, I was at an estate sale. This is months ago. I picked it up for $1. The comps are like $20 plus shipping, and that thing's still in my store, just drawing dust. So you really got to make sure that, at least for me, there's multiple comps to even make it worth that $1 that I'm buying it for. Let's see. I'm still, like always, I'm kind of in the early stages of your Q&A because this is before I even went live, but let's see if there's anything. We have Ferret Fan here. Anyone else ever notice that if you counter an offer, you lose the sale almost 100% of the time? A lot of the time. I would say it's more like, for me, it's more like 60 to 70% of the time you just hear crickets. And there's a reason for that. If you're not on it right away. So if, someone makes you an offer and you don't see it for, let's say, a half an hour or more has passed, well, chances are they've already found the item they're looking for. And just think about when you go shopping for an item online. If you decide to make an offer for someone, are you going to say, okay, I'm going to give them 3 hours before I try to fulfill my need? No, you're probably going to go and look some more. You might look some more on eBay, find another seller, or you might check on Amazon or Google, that type of thing. But I think a lot of it's timing. We wait too long and they're not even going to reply. They don't need it anymore. It's not important to them to get back to you, even to hit the decline button. It could be that, they just changed their mind. Maybe, because we're not that fast to get back to them. But I can tell you that I don't have as high of a fail percentage on a lot of these. It's more like maybe 70% because I get back to people like right away. As soon as I see that request flash, it'll be like a sliding icon on the PC, and I'm like, oh, I got an offer. I'm quick to get back to people to say, hey, this is the price I can do for you, or I'll, let's make a deal type of thing. So something to consider. If you're not quick at getting back to your messages, I think it's hurting you. A lot of people argue it makes no difference, but I really do think that in the algorithm, it does have some play in your account health. And I do think that your buyers will have there's a number of times I'll get the first thing that someone says to me is, wow, thank you for your fast response. You're setting a good first impression. Look at some of these buyers, and look at their feedback left for other sellers. And sometimes you wonder why they leave them a negative, but you see what they say. Never responded, right? Never got back to me. Communication is very important to people. And it goes a long way. Maybe you encounter a problem in your transaction, but the faster that you are in getting back to them, I think it does help calm their nerves a little bit. I think that's why a lot of buyers come off as just rude initially. They come off as really rude to you when maybe you didn't do anything wrong, because they're holding on to the bad transactions, and they're almost expecting you to be that same seller. And until you kind of calm their nerves and come back with them with positive professional communication in a fast manner, That'll go a long way to even making these sales.
Yeah, but I think he's right. I mean, for me at least, I agree with you 100%. Typically, when I come back with a counter offer because their offer was way too low, crickets.
I agree 60 to 70%, but that's just me. Art Betzold says, hello, everyone. How you doing, Art? Bill York says, hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Guy Guru says, my weekend sales are great, especially for Memorial Day weekend. And I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
I was really expecting to have maybe a $500 or $600 sales weekend, and that's from Friday to Monday. Saturday didn't disappoint, but Sunday and Monday really, opened my eyes. We started off pretty good today, so trying to finish off May with a bang, and let's hope that we can continue the momentum into June. But again, I'm not lost on the fact that it's a lot to do with what we're selling. It's very much to do with what we're selling. Our other store, which has just a lot of randomness, and it's really not good. Really not good. Ferret Fans says, I do the same thing, but I really hate it when someone guesses my bottom dollar on their first offer. This afternoon, I counter $1 measly dollar higher, and they ghosted me.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet if you try to make it a point, as soon as that notification hits, stop what you're doing if you can. I'm not saying to stop in the middle of traffic. I'm not saying to stop in the middle of traffic and cause a traffic jam. I'm saying at the earliest convenience you have, make it a point to reply back to that offer. Now, what I like to do is I don't play the haggle game. In fact, I let them know. Let's say I have a $50 item. They come at me with like $10, right? A lot of you guys would just say, that's it, decline, move on, block. Some of you would block someone like that. For me, it's still an opportunity. They've expressed some interest. Maybe they're kicking the tires because they've had a seller that's caved in and said, okay, I'll take 10 out of desperation, right? Because sellers are desperate right now to make sales of any kind. For me, this is the best I can do. I'll come back. I wanted 50. They wanted to give me 10. I'll come back at 35. And I'll say, this is the very best I can do. Please note, I don't play the haggle game like some sellers might do on eBay. This is the very best I can do. And a lot of people will either, I'd say half will come back and say, okay, they'll accept it. The other half that respond will play the little haggle game of $1, and I'll just decline and I will just move on. And they have 2 more opportunities to come back to earth and to understand that I'm not going to budge from 35, and we either can make a deal or we won't. And I've had that work, where they ran out of opportunities. They kept giving me, crap offers. The next day they made another offer. I don't know how they made another offer, but they did. And I think it may have been one of those things where I did a sell similar and it gave them new opportunities on a new listing. But they actually gave me an offer that was like a couple bucks less than my bottom line. And I said, you know what, let's just sell it. $2 I can budge from. But
yeah, if it's within $1,
yeah,
$3, I'm not gonna, haggle over that. But if it's, $5, $10 or more lower, then no.
Keena says flipping is easy when it comes to burgers.
Yes,
well, if
is.
you had a lot of experience with flipping burgers, it might be, or if you're not really using like an egg in your base of your burger is going to fall apart. So it just depends.
Says the barbecue guy.
That's right. How was your barbecue, guys, yesterday? You guys even have barbecue? We did some little chicken. We did some little smoked like potatoes, like cheesy potatoes, which are pretty good. And we did some pork shots is what they're called. And it's like you have like these like kielbasa sausages wrapped with bacon and stuff with like a cream cheese jalapeno filling. It was pretty good. So we just wanted to do a little different than like the standard like ribs, chicken, brisket, all that stuff. Hopefully you guys had a pretty good day. We got an incoming. Let's see what this is. Billy Goat Gruff. Hey guys, thoughts on selling antiques on eBay? Well, thank you, Billy Goat Gruff. I appreciate the super chat. Well, I don't do a lot of antiques. I probably don't have any experience at all on antiques. I do know that there's a lot of people that have a lot of success selling that type of stuff. You really got to find stuff that's in demand, maybe like one-off items. But just know, I think that that's one category that really does suffer when we're talking like a slower economy, and maybe so even, when there's not as many buyers on the site during the summertime. eBay's a good forum.
You have to check the comps, honestly.
Yeah, check the comps, but even like sometimes you're going to find something that's so old or so
Rare.
your best bet is to consider what you're into it for. Maybe list it on auction, starting at whatever you're comfortable at the lowest possible price, and let's see what the market says about your item. I think there's a lot of people who will come out of the woodworks and place bids on your item if it truly does have some value. Yeah. So that's a good starting point. And I learned that with those they're vintage. Most of them were vintage military patches. I believe I did have some that were really old, that were somewhat close to antique, but not quite there, like World War One and between World War One and World War Two. I had no idea what I had because no one else was selling those, but I put them up on auction and found that some of them went over $100. So thank you for the super chat. I wish I had more expertise on that subject, but hopefully someone who sells antiques can maybe give you some perspective on if it's really worth your time. And I think also Don, the auction professor, he does a lot of that stuff too. Not to sell on any channels, but that's where I'd start. Kelly Debs is in the house. Hi, everyone. My weekend was good. That's great to hear. Steve Poste says, hi, Paige. Well, how are you doing? You've never been called Paige before, but
probably somebody up there.
Kevin from Lakeland, Florida. Thanks for being here today, Kevin. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Amazon Seller 99 says, hey, guys. Thanks for being here. Mark Suddick. Hi to the king and queen of flipping, the Royal John and Jenna. Thanks for another live. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone had a great long weekend. Make sure to hit the like button and you will get sales. Yes. Right. Hit that like button, and we promise you, at least I hope the fact that you're going to get a sale in 24 hours, it works, guys. I don't know why or how, it just does. Now, as far as a long weekend, it was a very long weekend. It's like when you're out and about, I guess 2 rounds of golf and then coming home and putting away 4 pallets worth of merchandise. It really kicked my butt. So yesterday I was kind of struggling, and it's just what it is. When you get older, things that you used to do when you're in your 20s just ain't the same.
Ain't doing anymore.
Yeah. Woody's Comic Chest says Bees Pickovers and Woody's Comic Chest. I don't know what that is, but that might be your stores. Raul Solis says, hi, John and Jenna. How you doing, Raul?
Hello.
Samuel, that God or the God says 6-day sales on eBay with 700 listings. Generally, if you have an everything account, and I don't know what you're selling.
The page isn't turning today, Kina said. Sorry, it's right underneath.
Well, back to Samuel though, real quick. If you sell pretty much everything, generally you're going to see 1 out of every 100, sometimes 1 out of every 150. Just depending on the quality of the stuff you're selling. So you're really not that far off a pace. Now, maybe you're used to doing a little bit better than that, but I'm a firm believer. A lot of this has everything to do with what you're selling. Guide Guru says yard sale finds usually helps with my slowdown. Sometimes you'll find that item will sell immediately no matter what. Yes. A lot of times you'll find that item, you'll get it listed, and within minutes. And it makes you kind of wonder, did I misprice this thing? Yeah. But you just got to be happy and not feel kind of greedy about the sale. Biff says, for me, summer and Q4 are almost no different. And I think the answer for that is tied into what we're talking about. You're selling something that is quite different and immune to summer and seasonal slowdowns. I'd like to think that the stuff we're selling is immune to a lot of that. People are going to need things
Toilet
for their
seats.
car. They're going to need things for their health. They're going to need things for their house. They're going to need things that come up, things that need to be replaced. Got a lot of items that are replaceable kind of things. They just sold a replaceable washing machine lid, the glass lid for a specific, I think, Samsung brand of washing machine. I was into that for $2, guys. I sold it for, I think, about 40 or 50 plus shipping. Took a lower offer, but this is something that I don't care how hot or cold it is outside. If let's say their washing machine lid has a problem and maybe water's leaking or it's not working properly, they're going to look for a way to solve that problem. And it has nothing to do with if they're going on vacation this weekend or not. They have to wash their clothes. And so that's just what we're selling. And I'm hopeful that I don't see a lull in sale because of the summer, maybe because there's fewer buyers on the site, but still it's going to be within line with what, it has been this last 5 months of us selling this type of product. Cassandra says, this month has been my best month since at least September. Sell clothing, I really going through my pricing and just did a store sub and listed a lot more. Mm-hmm. Yes, subscriptions are going to give you that boost in the idea that you're going to have the markdown sale. You're going to have the coupon. Those are really things that people, if you're giving someone a deal that grabs their attention, mm-hmm. that slash through the price really grabs their attention. Oh, there's a sale, right? Mm-hmm.
And they don't know when it's going to end.
Well, they do. If it's coming to an end like that day, it'll give you a countdown.
Do like Tommy, and you end it every 24 hours.
I still don't quite believe that. I mean, maybe
he does. He's here, Tommy.
I don't know.
Screenshot it and send it to me.
I don't call his bluff on that one. I don't know. I'm a poker player. I would never call that bet. Actually, I would call that bet. But maybe. I mean, you could set up markdown sales.
Why not, though? I don't understand.
I don't know.
You're so afraid of it.
It's not an afraid. It's more of, man, that's just, I don't know. Look, eBay has come out in their seller check-in. At least what they reported, they say the optimal time for a markdown sale is 2 weeks.
Do we ever listen to what eBay says?
Well, you know what? I do, because eBay, they have the inside of how their system works. We're guessing.
Know that eBay doesn't have it together.
Well, eBay doesn't have it together, but if someone's saying, look, I'm in this department, I am a spokesman for this department, and they come out and say, look, optimally it's 2 weeks. That's kind of what I'm looking at. Now, I guess you can go in and you could set your markdown sales up to 6 months in advance. And if you want to try it, I mean, I guess we can try that as an experiment.
Well, we're doing other experiments on the.
So
on
maybe
we'll give it
a shot. So we'll see. Let's see. I don't know what this means, Kina. John means me, knowledgeable people.
Because you earlier made a comment.
Oh, okay. Samuel says, first time I'm doing clothing sold on eBay before, are buying bales of donation clothing profitable? It can be, if you go to like a good area of town and maybe those were drop-offs and they're selling them in bundles, you might find better brands. And there's some that sell just generic brands and they price them accordingly. So if you're into, a lot of it's your cost per piece. If you're into each piece for 50 cents and you're selling them for $5 plus shipping, of course, you want to do free shipping on $5. You're going to make some money. It's going to be more volume to get you where you want to be. You're shaking the table.
I'm sorry.
I
had a note for myself and I don't seem to be able to find it.
Next time we're going to have to give you a little sticky note and stick it right to your forehead or something. And that way you don't forget it. I always find a way to get myself in trouble on these broadcasts. Sorry, guys. So yeah, I think, finding ways to keep your cost of goods low is the number one way to succeed on this platform. Everything else is just, we're talking, they measure a small amount towards your ultimate success. We talk about titles, photos. These are all important things, quality listings, account health. But at the end of the day, if you are sourcing at a low price and you can get a bundle of clothing like you're talking about at a good deal, like this stuff here. I'm in for 60 cents a piece. These are
Those are like
30
replenishables.
plus shipping. It may take me half a year to get rid of, but I'm going to make my money over and over on this deal. Lawrence Trombley, 3 returns, 1 barometer. Buyer said readings do not match local TV.
Oh yeah, because we believe TV is always right.
Palm sander. Buyer said round sanding discs were glued sander adhesive disc. 3. The 3rd return past the 30 days. No refund. Wrong. eBay paid them.
Past the 30 days, no refund. Wrong. eBay paid them. Oh, wrong. Okay.
So you got to take the returns. I mean, they sting. I hate them. Do everything you can to avoid the return. Maybe work with your buyer. Maybe it's something. Maybe it's a part. Maybe a part that of this whole unit is broken or something went wrong. Right. Rather than them have the return open. Maybe you say, look, let me go ahead and find a way to get you this replacement part, and that'll resolve your problem. But when they do happen, they usually come in 3s, and you just got to deal with them. I hate to say it. It's a cost of doing business. At the end of the day, it all sort of absorbs into what you earn at the end of the year. Let's see. Picky Ricky's the barometer didn't match the weather report. I think someone believes everything they hear on the TV too much.
That's what I said.
Josh says, I'd rather just getting boxes from Supply Hut, a bit cheaper, but cheaper quality, but lighter. Helps when something is close to a pound to not set it over the 1 pound. I heard about that on Supply Hut's boxes, but to be honest, I was checking their site, and their boxes were a little higher per box. I think on I ordered some 14 by 10 by 10s. I ordered those, and I think I paid $1 a box, and I put in an order for 100. And then I ordered 25 of the 12 by 12 by 12s. And those were 89 cents a piece. Now, yeah, I spent like $60 in shipping for that entire order, but it's a 1-day deal. So I know that with like Supply Hut, you're going to be waiting 4 or 5 days. I can get a jump on this stuff, and I'm going to get it tomorrow. So just depends on what you want to do. I'm going to get it tomorrow. I ordered it today. I'm going to get it tomorrow. Noah Designs in the house. Hey, Jenna and Johns. Thanks for being here today.
Johns? There's multiple Johns.
I guess he's seeing double.
Please, God, help me.
Marco. That's not right. You ain't right. Marco Carpio says, hey, FAE family, just dropped to say hi. Hope y'all had a nice Memorial Day weekend. Well, Mario, yeah, we did. We had a good weekend. Of course, you guys know, like, everything within my life is just hectic. It's because I'm constantly doing something. I don't know the last time I just sat down and just did nothing. That's not something happen. I do. Let's see. Woody's Comic Chest.
Unless I'm watching a Cops rerun or something, and then all up, he stops what he's doing and sits down. She was
this morning, she was doing the shipping, and I was just coming back from picking up some merchandise, and I walk in the garage, and I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, it's some kind of a compilation of like police chases. Mm-hmm. So it got to this one where they started drawing guns on someone. I'm like, oh man, what's going on here?
He was a murder suspect.
Yeah,
just killed somebody.
So I'm like, oh, what's this? So it's like, I'm like, this is a distraction. And then she tried to blame me.
And I said, for you, do you see I'm still taping boxes? Yeah. You don't see me standing there just glaring at the TV.
So I had to move on. But yeah, that was a distraction. Woody's Comic Chest says, hello, everyone from Oklahoma. Question: buyers with no feedback, profile pictures, or transactions making offers, then not paying when accepted. Has this anyone else had this problem? Maybe a glitch. Well, not everyone is set up for instant or immediate payment on offers. One thing that I'm not even sure eBay is going to follow through with, to be honest with you. They're so focused on all kinds of other things like AI and implementing different features that, like photos and negative feedback, that were not really necessary, instead of following through with what the promises that they've made. But as far as buyers with no feedback, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You might have somebody who did a Google search for your item, found it on Google Shopping, had no intention on buying from eBay, but said, this is exactly what I was looking for. They go in, either they have a guest account or they do set up a new account and they buy your item. They have no feedback. Maybe they went on and made an offer. This is the item that I want. Let me see if they'll take 20 and not 30. I wouldn't freak out about that. I think a lot of people get nervous, but there's no need. I don't even remember having an issue with the zero feedback buyer in a very, very long time. It's usually those who've had experience gaming the system, working with sellers that maybe are easy to scam or to fish money from in a partial refund type deal. I find that a lot of my potential scammers or people who are sketchy generally are those who have over 100 feedback. So for me, it's not that big of a deal. So don't let that deter you from making a sale. That's for sure. Keena says, why did the government ban toilet seats too?
They're just a hot commodity. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And when your butt can't hit the seat properly, maybe you're sinking in, it's time to get some support. And that's what we're here to help with. Glad to help. Guy Guru, regarding that seller who sent me that strange message last night, a screenshot of your 90-day total is a very weird flex, and 14K ain't great.
That's what we thought. We thought the same thing. Believe me, there was a bit of back and forth.
It was fine.
And I had to shut it down on my account because
he was
having too much fun.
It was fun.
And so I blocked him and that stopped. But then he continued on his account.
Well, because he sent me the same message.
And so I was like, oh, Lord. And I'm like, can we go to bed now?
And then he ended up backtracking and like, I'm only allowed to make so much a month. Look, man, if you make $14,000 in 90 days, good on you. I'm not saying that's good or bad, but to say
to call anybody out,
to show me a screenshot of your 90-day total, and then within 30 seconds you reply with, that's what I thought.
That's what I thought is what he said.
What?
And I went, oh no.
So it's like, wow, okay. You're flexing at that point. Okay. You don't give a screenshot and then say, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Like, drop the mic. I made 14,000. Okay. Well, maybe you're proud of that. I mean, you sold 6 items over the weekend. Maybe that's good for you. And I'm not here to say it's good or bad, but everybody's situation is different. Yeah. There's a reason why maybe someone's selling that item. You go to Walmart, you see, wow, there's a great deal on whatever, right? How do they sell them so cheap? Well, maybe they're blowing them out from new inventory. Have you ever thought of that? Maybe sometimes if you're sitting on items that have just been sitting in your store, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, this is a bad buy. Yeah. I'm going to make a little bit of profit on this, move it, undercut the hell out of everyone else so I can clear out space for the new stuff and never make that mistake again.
Yeah. On my account, we're running an experiment right now. And so
we kind of were, not anymore though, really.
Well, it's still up there as the experiment. So his reply or his, email or whatever to us was, he doesn't have all the facts. So don't even open your mouth. You don't have that right. And so, it's just, people are so amazing to me.
Yeah.
They're quick to judge, quick to jump down their throats when they're, keyboard warriors on the other side. When I saw that, my blood was boiling and I'm like, you got to look at this.
Yeah. It's just not right. I mean, look, you might be doing what you feel as well. Or in this case, I guess if someone that would take the time to say something like that to another seller is frustration. You're not happy with the fact that you can't sell it for less than $87.99 because you're not going to make money. And so now we all see that seller is like, how can they sell it this low, right? You don't know their situation. Maybe they got them for free. maybe they're just trying to blow it out. Here, just take them from me. But it doesn't mean that we have to sell it for what you think it's supposed to be sold for. And to reach out and to just scold somebody like that, I think is just it's bad form. It's not. It's not good.
And then he wants to come up with all kinds of excuses as to why his sales are so bad. So,
well, don't flex on me.
Don't try and think you're flexing.
I don't do that to anyone else, because look, the moment I say, oh, I made 36,000 in 90 days, someone's going to hit me with 100,000 and say, okay, scoreboard. Right. It isn't about that, guys. We all have different situations, and no one should be made to feel bad because they're not making sales. And again, it's just if what is his name? Spanky? No, Stubby.
Stubby.
Now I'm not gonna give him his entire name, but that's what it starts with, Stubby. If you got that message from a guy named Stubby, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're out, and I have this weird feeling he watches the channel. I don't know. Maybe he does or doesn't. But Stubby, if you're out there, knock it off, man.
Do better.
That's right. Don't treat people that way. You don't want people to slam stuff in your face like that. I could just imagine the people that he sent the message to, how many people he made feel bad because of his situation. It's just not right. Not right thing to do. Daniel Lesage from Baton Rouge, logging in a little late today. I actually had 3 small sales today. I love their accent out there. Maya says, maybe I need to look into the toilet seats if they're so lucrative. I'm a nurse for my regular job, so I should have some kind of expertise in them after helping so many patients use them.
Yes.
It just things like this, examples like car parts, maybe medical stuff that eBay allows you to sell. Some stuff they don't allow you to sell. I found that out the hard way. Looking at the comps. Even then, eBay doesn't want you to sell some stuff, but they'll let you sell it. They may not let me sell it. But looking at things from a different perspective, when you're out and about at a yard sale, like, is this something people would want, or is this something that they might need? And if it's a need that fills a check mark into what works for, like, for instance, us, and we would pick that kind of thing up over something that, well, this could be long tail. It could be sitting for a while. I don't have that kind of space. If I had a warehouse, it would be a totally different ball game. Maybe something that maybe transpires down the road. And if I'm in that position, I'm willing to buy more stuff and sit on it. But I'm more into churning, so I'll take a lower offer than most people normally would. If I'm into an item for $10, and I want 70, but I get 40 plus shipping, I'm not even going to haggle. I'm going to take my profit and clear the space for the next thing. Joshua Isbell says, tell him he needs to give you some of the $14. I hate that.
$14,000.
Or $14,000. I hate that.
Yeah, he's just a douche.
Well, I don't know who this guy is, but he's obviously frustrated. And I think there's a lot of sellers out there that are frustrated with their sales. And sometimes they look at the comps and go, wow, I'm buying these for $20. I think I should sell them for $80 plus shipping, but I can't go any lower. But how can this guy go lower? Obviously, he's getting them for the same as me, right? No, I'm buying some of these things for $5 a piece. Like I said, it gives me room to do things that you can't when I can source better than you. And it's something that you should always strive for. Try to source for as low as you can, because that's how you win in this game. You can't win buying stuff at high prices, no matter how good it looks to you. There's been many times I've been tempted to bid a little bit more on a lot because, wow, I like this stuff. I've had experience with this kind of stuff selling pretty well. And then you start bidding up too high. And now is the juice worth the squeeze? It's not. And you don't really regret it until you pay the bill and you get the stuff delivered to you, or you buy the stuff and bring it home. And it's like, why did I spend so much on this? I think we've all been there. Even I've been there, and you learn your lessons. Biff Boffo says you should go to that clown store and send a lowball offer on his toilet seats.
I thought about that.
Oh, that's funny.
But I was tired and I wanted to go back.
My thing is, I don't want him to accept, and now I'm stuck with the toilet seat.
Yeah.
So Guide Guru says, sounds like he wants a retaliatory feedback from someone. Tell him he better hide his low dollar items. You know, it's just like, look, if you have issues with your own store, don't go picking on someone else. I mean, come on, that's just not right. And there's ways to look. If you would have come at me and said, "Hey, I noticed you sell the same thing I do. Just wondering, you know, how are you able to get such low prices? Don't you realize that, you know, the market is X, Y, and Z for this?" I would have been more receptive to that. But you know, and really, he said he sent it out to all the low ballers. He's sending them out to a lot of people.
Yeah, and he, in his about for his store, it says nothing about selling. Absolutely nothing. It talks about hockey and the game of hockey.
Yeah.
He's just a complete meathead.
It's just weird. It's weird. It's like, okay, well, thanks for that fun fact.
Yeah.
You love hockey. That's great.
Yeah.
So
moving on.
So yeah, I think we gave him too much play on this.
Too much time on this guy.
Let's see. Piggy Ricky says eBay is still in the top 20 most visited sites on the internet. I don't doubt that. And, you know, I read something that the CEO is still going to go with the plan of trying to get repeat buyers in certain categories, meaning that they're going to continue to advertise in certain categories and kind of push out the random seller, the smaller seller. And I think that's a bad idea. You know, and a lot of people are going to leave the site because smaller sellers are being ignored. And that's why it seems like a lot of eBay's policies are punitive, because they kind of are. If you're a small seller, you're going to get hit with a lot more, you know, the policies are more designed against you. The larger sellers are going to persevere, right? They can handle things that a smaller seller can't handle. I don't know. I just think that eBay needs to do better when it comes to that. Guide Guru says, I really need to cross list on Posh. I have like 500 shirts. What am I doing?
Get going.
Get it going. And you know,
and funny thing is t-shirts, if they're, you know, just t-shirts. They can be graphic t-shirts, plain t-shirts. T-shirts sell, and they sell surprisingly higher than, you know, your typical just random-ish things.
Well, do yourself a favor though. Don't do it manually. Don't say, okay, I have these listings on eBay. I'm going to just go ahead and make the same ones on Poshmark without using a lister. Now, you can use any of the listers out there. There's some that are free. There's some that are more expensive. There's a link down below if you want to try the Prime Lister tool that we use. They give you 2 weeks for free. You don't even need to give a credit card.
Yeah, and 2 weeks for free. You could get your whole store transferred.
Well, you can get 100 items for free.
Oh.
It caps off at 100. But they have some tools there that that she likes to use. She uses like every day. She'll share. So you got to play the Posh game. When you're playing on Poshmark, you got to share your listings with others. That the key is, look, the key is to go in when you're setting up a Poshmark account. You really want to play this game where, like, late at night, you're going in and you're just on your phone, follow 1,000 million people and just follow. When we first started that Poshmark account, we did that. I did that all the time. I spent an hour late at night just following people. They'll follow you back. We have what about 200,000 people that follow us.
Yeah.
And when you share your stuff, now that gets into their feed. So the more people that are following your account, you know, the more people see the stuff in your store when you utilize a tool like that. And then they, you know, you send all these offers to people, or you share your closet, and people are more willing to buy your stuff because they know it exists. Mm-hmm. You know, they think that.
Although I do want to run an experiment and not do any sharing, not do any following for like a week, because I've had 0 sales on Poshmark.
Well, I think I know what part of it is.
I think it's because we're not cross-listing, but then again, I don't have things to be cross-list. Everything's already cross-list that can be cross-list. So that's what
well, we got a ton of clothing. So, you know, let's get some of that up on eBay.
I like shoes way better than clothing.
Well, you just started talking about t-shirts and how great they are. So let's make it
not
great.
Not the ones that he picks up.
Well, make it great.
Okay.
Edward says, I'm part-time. Good times or bad, it doesn't matter to me. I'm planning on slowing down even more for the summer. And, you know, some people say, look, I closed this. I know for a fact there's some sellers out there who will close their store for portions of the summer because they're going on vacation, or, you know, they want to spend more time with the kids out of school. I totally get it. You know, what's worse than to, oh, wow, I have 2 sales, but I'm not even going to be home to ship them, right? Or to mess with vacation mode all the time. So, or they know historically their sales are slow and they don't even want to be bothered with it. I totally get it. But, you know, if you're part-time, that means that you have a full-time income to fall back on. If you're full-time, that's not even an option. Unless you have money set aside for, you know, like the time you're taking off, for like us, we're going to be selling regardless. So,
Or maybe he's retired and
yeah,
this is just a
but
part-time
that's good. I mean, if I knew, like, look, I'm working 9 months out of the year, I'm taking the summer off, and I can afford to do so, more power to you on that one. Midwest Picker says eBay site issues are hurting sales right now as much as anything else. The item specifics glitch is one of many. One glitch that I think that you guys need to know about, e-commerce bites came out with a article on it that stated to the effect of, some international sellers, I guess when they're getting opted in by eBay, they're still opting in people in waves. Something's happening with inventory where listings are being that may have sold are being listed, quantities are being replenished, and it's causing people to have problems. So check your inventories out. It's not a bad idea to check them out periodically and just make sure that, you know, that item that you have sitting around is even listed, because it might not even be listed. So that's a glitch that's been happening lately. Biff says you will see how well collectibles can actually do when you start selling your lucid displays. Are these back here? Yeah, I think so. You know, people, they get that autographed baseball or football, and look, these are going to be sitting here. They're not in my way. Really,
this is not even all of them.
no, this is half of them.
There's a whole bunch more in the garage,
and those aren't even in the way, to be honest with you. We took down our clothing
we took them all out of the boxes because the boxes were absolutely disgusting,
dirty and nasty
and dirty. They're like 5 years, 5 or 6 years old. They've been sitting in a warehouse,
new old stock. Yep.
So the boxes were just dirty and disgusting, so we took them all out. And because we took them all out, it doesn't take up as much space as those big boxes were.
Yeah.
So we got rid of all the boxes and cut them. Well, they're not gone yet. They're all piled up, you know, in the yard, in the backyard by the trash. But, you know, come Thursday, when it's large item pickup day,
all those are going to be stacked up out by the cans, and they'll be gone by that afternoon. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Ed's in the house. Afternoon, John and Jenna. Thanks for being here, Ed. Appreciate you. Noah Design says, well, the upside of all them plastic boxes, you don't need to get any bass traps and acoustic sound
better.
It probably does.
Bass traps.
It probably sounds a lot better in here, maybe less echoey. Biff says, I counter quite a lot of and get sales. You just have to know how much to push back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, you have more room to push back in the buyer's favor if you're into that item cheaper than the next guy.
And you can't have a personal attachment to it, you know, because a lot of us do that within our listings. You know, we think, oh, well, it could go for more than that. Just get rid of it. He tells me that all the time.
Move it.
Get rid of it.
I have stuff in my car as we speak that I need to make room for. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go in and pull the stuff where I normally store this stuff. I'm going to pull it to the listing area, and then I'm going to take the stuff out of the car and put that in its spot. And I already have the drafts made for these other listings. It's a matter of just taking photos, you know, going through and making sure everything's in place, and you know, find a place to put them once I've listed them. And it's constantly cycling through this stuff. So I am not interested in holding on to this inventory. If I can get a reasonable offer that allows me to make profit, I'm more apt to say, you know what, let's just take the deal and move it, and I'll do better next time. Buy more items that are going to sell at my price, and you'll find them. But sometimes you won't. You'll have to just settle sometimes, and it's okay. Richard says, I sold the Powerpuff Girls VHS tape recently for $6.99 plus shipping. I paid 49 cents for it at Goodwill.
Yeah.
I mean, that's okay. You're making after fees, you're making 10x, right? That's good. But if you're looking to make a certain amount, like per day, you're going to have to buy a lot of those VHS tapes. You're going to have to buy a lot of the media to do that. And for some, they don't have a problem with listing 100, 150 of these a day and making it work. I'd rather, though, look for bigger items, or doesn't even have to be big, but higher ASP, average sale price items, and sell 5 or 6 of those higher ASP items than sell 20 or 30 of the lower ASP items. But that's just my business model. To each his own. Guide Guru says, yay, sometimes they'll accept any counter. They're just trying to get a steal. Some people are going to buy it no matter what. Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll send out an offer or counter an offer, and then it sells for full price to somebody else because they weren't quick enough.
No One Design says, stop moving your lips. Picky Ricky says, as I have to move, anyone watches my item, I'm on them like fly on poop. Immediate offer incoming to the buyer. I need this stuff gone so I don't have to move it to a new place. Right.
Yeah,
especially if you're moving.
Ricky's
no one's
moving.
That's one thing. If you haven't done that before,
Oof.
Try packing up all your inventory, moving
God.
it, getting it put back into a new place, because your new place isn't going to always be laid out like the old place. So I can imagine that's we've been there, done that. It's not fun.
We don't have to imagine. We know.
Yeah.
Well,
I can imagine what he's going through.
Yeah.
Ed, the reselling writer, says, everyone I get the email or eBay notification for an offer or message, I do respond quick, usually within 5 minutes. Buyers lose interest pretty quick, especially for a want rather than a need. Yeah.
True.
Ferret Fan, if I see a cool, rare movie on VHS or DVD, I check comps and buy if I can make $4 or more. But generally, no, VHS and DVDs, Blu-ray are more oversaturated. Lots sell less than media. Mel costs, don't ask me how. I just don't I don't gravitate towards it. I mean, if I get a good deal, I'll buy it, I guess. But I think I stopped doing that like 6 months ago. Like for looking at like LPs, records. I'll pass on a lot of them, even though I know that there's value in records. It's, to me, all about condition. So if I find some really good LPs in good condition, I'd be willing to jump on them, but it has to be at a good price. I'm looking at like 50 cents a piece is what and I'm looking to buy them in bulk. I'm not cherry picking someone's lot. I'm going to say, what do you want for all of them at a yard sale? That generally gets you a better per item cost. Truman 316 says, hello, Jenna and John. I hope everyone had a nice, relaxing weekend. Not relaxing. But I played golf like for the first 2 holes on Sunday like a pro.
Because I wasn't with them. I went with them on Saturday, and then I think I brought the cooler. So
I'm a hacker, and I went birdie, and I almost hit a double eagle on the second hole, and then I proceeded to just suck the rest of the day. So I'm the only one I know that can birdie 2 holes in a row and shoot 93, which is what I shot. Horrible. Rosie says, hi, John and Jenna, everyone. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Thanks for being here, Rosie. John Gaynor says, hi, Jenna and John. Selling from home is all about space. So buying the right item at the right time and selling the right price is such a balancing act. Yes. That's why bookkeeping is so important.
Yes.
Bookkeeping to me is sort of reinforces the, why did I buy this item? So maybe you think you bought the item and you're like, I'm not sure I did anything with this. Like for instance, case in point, all those LPs that we bought, at I think we're in them for like 25 cents a piece, but even then we're selling them for such a low amount. And then we get through and see what eBay charges for fees and everything. And like, wow, I can't believe I made $4 or $5 on this item. And, it sort of reinforces whether or not you should be buying them again, that type of thing. I'm getting to it soon.
I know, but No One Design says, why is John hitting birds and eagles? Does he not like woodland critters?
Nope. I'm sure
on Saturday we saw a one-eared bunny.
Yeah.
It was so sad.
Yeah, it was so sad.
John was feeding him.
I was trying to feed him
chips.
jalapeno chips, but it wouldn't take it. Midwest Picker says oftentimes buyers put their max offer first. That's why they don't respond to counters.
Yeah.
That's
probably true.
And of course, then they get the offer. And let's say they get 2 people that accept their offer. They buy the one that's best for them, and then they totally ghost you on the one on your offer because they have no interest in buying it. Backyard Mowing says, you shipping all those cases to Amazon, eBay likely long tail. You know, I was talking about maybe Amazon, but these SKUs are so old. I don't know if there's an active listing, and I really don't know if I want to make a listing. But you know what? It is an option. It
could be a part where we send some of them in.
Yeah.
You know, the ones in the bedroom or in the office, send those out and then keep what's already in the garage.
Well,
I don't know. They are going to be cross-listed on different platforms, but
a lot of it is dependent on how well they do on eBay. Yeah. If they sell well on eBay, then I'll just sell them on eBay. But if they're really slow, I've had other people put comments in the video we made yesterday saying, hey, those are going to go fast. So I guess we'll find out from experience. If they're slow, then it's time to send them to FBA and just let Amazon, package them up, right? So that's a good, but I've already spent $200 on boxes. So, I guess I could use those boxes for other things, but I specifically measured these to where I have a couple inches free on every side. So they're padded really well. Yeah. Yard sale steals 300. How do I turn eBay's international shipping back on? Turn it off to test, but can't find a way to turn it back on. So the way you turn it back on is simply this. Go into all your business, your shipping policies. So you go into find your name on the PC on the upper left-hand side, click on it, click on account. On the menu that you see, find business policies and go in and edit every single shipping policy you have and turn off international shipping. So you have your domestic shipping at the top of the business policy, and below it'll say international. Just click on the drop down that says no international. Okay. Make sure that you have unclicked a lot of the countries. Maybe you've clicked on when you're shipping them yourself. To me, I don't care where eBay ships these items to. If they're, shipping them out on their own, that's their problem, especially if they're covering us. So I would say open it all up to all countries. Okay. And, of course, make sure if it's a large item, your PO box is set to be excluded. You don't want to deal with that situation. And then if you're willing to ship to APOs, Hawaii or Alaska, if it's a large item, you're using ground, you probably don't want to do that. And then for every business policy, you have international set to none. And then once that's done, go into your selling preferences, and you're going to make sure it says you're going to click on where it says opt in. It should already say, if you're opted in by eBay, to click on it to say opt out. And so make sure you're opted in once your business policies are fixed. Because if you're offering international shipping on your own, like through Pirate Ship or whatever, and you're opted in, it's going to default to your policy that says you're shipping it internationally and not eBay. So that's the way you fix it.
It's an owl.
Yeah, how cute.
I love that.
I know.
Kina, just burn them.
I don't know what you're talking about. I guess we'll get to that here. Let's see who else we have. We have LSP says, my damn skin is barbecued.
Yeah, because you were asking about would you guys barbecue? And that's what came up.
Well, sorry to hear that. Get some aloe vera for that.
Somebody spent a little too much time in the sun without SPF.
Carl says, greetings now, only 27 minutes late.
That's okay. By the time you got here, he was still at the beginning.
See, Tommy's even later. Hola. He just got here.
No,
how you doing, Tommy?
No, he didn't just get here. You just got to him.
Well, it is the way it is. Drain the Swamp says, all right, I'm going to hit the get one sale button. Yes, hit that like button. Callie Debs, for summer, start listing holiday decor and craft supplies. Yeah, I mean, people start planning their holidays year round. So if you have it, get it up. Devon Short says, hello, resellers. Thanks for being here. I'm sure it's Devon. Devon or Devon. It's one of those two. One of those two. Edward says, vintage are great. I picked up 4 boxes of vintage women's Tampax tampons. It's surprising, but they'll sell.
Wait, what? Do they even have vintage tampons? That's weird.
I'd worry
I
if
just pray that the box is sealed.
Well, will it like disintegrate when you use it?
Oh,
I don't know.
Stop.
I just don't know. It's just weird. You got to maybe test that out before you put it out.
Devon.
The Tommy Bernard podcast says it's a business. How hard is it to spend 10 minutes a day to work on the back end? I got to tell you, Tommy, some people just want to do the bare minimum, I'm finding. And I'm sure most of those people aren't watching this program. But yeah, a lot of people, you tell them, yeah, if you just did X, Y, and Z, they don't want to do it. I can't explain why. Jovial ran a 30% off. It rhymed. Ran a 30% off sale this weekend. And what do you know? Sale 30% off in red. Didn't show on my listings till after you actually click on the item for the 3rd time.
Wow. That's BS.
Tommy says, John, eBay is also releasing immediate pay on offers last year. I just don't look, I'm going to believe it when I see it with this whole immediate payment thing. eBay really put themselves in a corner when they promised us we're going to have it. And we don't know. I still have items that are willing to get paid for. Promise. But I'm used to it at this point. I'd rather at this point be just pleasantly surprised and just expect, this is what it is. Accept the offer and chances are you're not going to get paid. Kenji says, opting out of international sales has killed my sales and impression. Well, but the thing is, if you know that's the case, opt back in.
Yeah.
For us, it was the opposite. Opting in, once we were properly opted in. I mean, we weren't properly opted in because we still had an international policy through pirate ship. So they automatically opt you in, but you ain't opted in until you're selecting no international on all your shipping policies. And for us, as soon as we did that on both accounts, it was like someone turned a switch. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not willing to keep that switch off on my main account. So I immediately went in and changed that. Within hours, I started getting sales again. And then on the other account, I waited days and it was like dead. So we turned that off and sales normalized there too. Yeah. So everyone's affected differently. Some people aren't affected. Some people are. If you go to the video I made a few weeks ago, there's a number of people that had the same experience as us. Bees Pickover says having yard sales can be small backup for summer slowdown. Problem is they are more fun to go to than have one. They're not fun to have, especially if you have items that are worth $5, but people are willing to give you $1 for it. You can make more than you think you're making. It's pretty cool that you have a yard sale and I didn't think I sold a lot, and you count what you got, and you're like, wow, I didn't know I even made $300 or $400. That's kind of cool, but yeah, I'm going to have a yard sale probably the next time in the fall when the community here has one. I wish we
knew when it would be.
Yeah, we'll just got to find out. We'll figure it out. It's sometime, if we know it's in the fall, we can start getting stuff put aside that we're going to put in the yard sale, that type of thing.
The whole store.
No.
Not your store. Hot Desert.
I still think you can make more money than you can in a yard sale. But Henri Squaw says weekend sales were much better. That's awesome. Duncan VR says, good morning from down under. Just corrected an eBay listing where eBay did not upload my new images using sell similar. This happens sometimes. And I'm wondering, is that a listing where you created it through the app, or is that a listing that you created through the PC? I've noticed that sometimes when I use the app and I sell similar, that things just aren't complete, if that makes sense. So for me, I'll do a sell similar. I won't launch it from the app. I'll save it, and then I'll launch it from the PC when everything checks out. Devin says, is everybody ready for the summer slowdown? I still haven't really seen anyone tell me, what is your plan? I think I learned a lot last year in 2022 when things were really bad, guys. We had a lot of Amazon returns. We started doing the yard sale thing. to kind of supplement the slowdown. But what kind of got us through, if you want to say it helped get us through, I mean, it helped increase our sales, was just listing more in numbers, getting more items listed. And, it's just a numbers game. If you have 2 stores, very same items, 100 items in one store, 1,000 items of the very same in the second store, I'm willing to bet that this store with 1,000 items is going to have more sales than the store with 100 items. Just math. Now, maybe not the same ratio. They might be selling 1 for every 100. This store might be selling 1 for every 125, but there's still going to be more sales. So get your items up. I think you got to work a little harder this time of year. It sucks, but if there's less traffic, less buyers, less activity, it's just a numbers game. In design says, "Oi, John, no es prudente cabrera a la esposa." Just saying. I could do a Google Translate. I have no idea what you're saying. Damn it, I hit the SAP button on my keyboard, and my Spanish is horrible. Acres, nifty things, Darlene. Sold an item today that has been in store since I started 4 years ago. I ended it sold similar, raised the price, and sold within 4 hours. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a matter of changing your price. And I've heard nothing but positive things. A lot of people that say, you know what, forget lowering the price. I'm going to do a sell similar and raise the price. But you're showing eBay activity on that listing, and that does help. It's all about getting your items ranked. And if you rank your items, have it set up to where your items rank higher in search, you can get away with having higher prices, because there's an element of the buying population that just do not want to scroll down, and they certainly don't want to check page 2 or 3. So they're finding, look, that's a fair price. They have no idea what you had it priced for last week. And as long as it's a fair price to them now, and it's what they're looking for, it meets their needs or their wants, then they're going to click on it and buy it. Duncan, by the way, that's our FedEx person, and there must be about 16 big boxes. So show must go on, right? Duncan says, and the boxes are right by the door so they can get them. Duncan says, I'm moving next week. I'm still thinking what's the best way to move my inventory to the next office without mixing stuff up. I'll be using time away. So what we did was we boxed everything. So like I have a shelf. So the shelf might be shelf 1. So we put everything in this box and label it 1. And we did the same thing for every shelf. Transported everything, then tried to set everything up in a similar fashion. Of course, it didn't really work out. Actually worked out better, but we still have shelves that are numbered 1 through 60 here. So we just put things back where we found them, and I found the better way to do it. Now you could have tubs. Maybe that's how you store the items. Well, then that's perfect. You have tub A1, A2, A3. Now it's just a matter of just finding out, where you're going to put those tubs once you move. Carl says, on received damaged goods, do you always request a photo for proof? Yes. Of course, they can open a return. They don't have to provide any proof at all. I'll give you an example. Now, I don't know if the buyer, this is hard for me to believe, but we sold a couple of those toilet seats. These had wheels on them. And this person wanted a deal. I think I sold them for $70 a piece plus $20 shipping for each one, provided that they were shipped together. So we shipped the big boxes together, taped them both together so they form one big box, threw one label on them, and we shipped them. And mind you, we inspect everything we sell before we actually ship or we list these items. Well, the lady gets them and she sends me this nasty message. Okay. Now I'm kind of thrown off when someone sends a nasty message. Yeah, I think you overreact for some reason, and there's usually some other thing involved behind it. I'm thinking user error. When they went to build these things, the clips broke, or someone over 300 pounds, which is the max design for these chairs, sat on them and they caused the clips to break. And she's claiming that all the clips are broken on both chairs, which I find hard to believe. I've sold a lot of these. I had one complaint, but yet both of them came with broken clips. Okay. So I asked her to send me a photo. I wanted to know if it's legit, because sometimes people are starting to fish for a partial, right? Because I had told her, I said, please send me a photo. I said, if possible, I might be able to get some replacement clips, but you may have to send these back. And she was like all adamant. I can't mess with these. These are too big, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, send me some photos. She did, and they're broken clips. I'm thinking, again, she installed them improperly, and or the weight being applied to these seats was just too much for them to bear. I was able to find, I had to break up 4 sets of a different model, same company, and I compared these clips to the ones that she had sent me photos of, and I had to take them out of off a sale. And of course, my costs are like $5 a piece, so it's like $20 invested to save $180 on the sale. And I told her I can send you these clips. Took photos of the clips and sent them out to her, and that's what we sent out today. Now, if she comes back and says these are broken, no, I sent you photos that they're not broken. At that point, it just confirms that she probably didn't know how to set this thing up, and she either applied them wrong, or she's buying this toilet seat for the wrong person. So I do, long answer to a short question, and that is I usually ask for proof on things like that. And I really would like for them to be cooperative so that they can open a claim. But the truth is, most buyers aren't cooperative like that. Let's see. SK says, sir, why sales are always slow in May? It's just seasonal. And if you have things, let's say you're selling stuff that people aren't looking for in May, then you're not going to get this kind of sales that you're getting in April. That's why you got to take a deep look at what you're selling, because the next time you go out, why would you keep buying that stuff that's not selling in May? Of course, that's not to say take it down and not sell it anymore, but quit buying the stuff that isn't selling right now. Buy that stuff again in the fall if it's seasonal. But you're finding that I find a lot of people are asking the same question, and they refuse to gravitate away from what they're currently selling. Let's see. SK says, should I start my auction with 99 cents, or should I start with the price break even price? On auctions, I would say to start with the price where you're comfortable, because a lot of times that's going to be the price it sells for. So if you're into it for $5, sell it for $4.99 plus shipping. Know that you're going to take a hit on eBay fees on the item, the shipping, and the taxes, and you may lose money. But you always want to start it off as low as you can, because the higher you start an auction off at, the less interest I see that you get. But if you're selling an item that doesn't have a lot of demand on auction, you're probably not going to make a whole lot of money. Let's see.
That
Biff says,
was a lot of work.
Hot commodity.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Devon says, who made $14K a month? Just a troll.
Stubby.
Yeah, Stubby the
Stubby the troll.
He's a listing monitor, and eBay had him send out messages to people who had lower price listings, and try to make people feel bad, whatever, to make him feel better. Sometimes people lash out, and I think that's what he did. Matt says, had someone make an offer, accepted, and never paid because they claimed eBay was using the original price at checkout. My sent invoices showed the accepted price, but transaction never completed. I wouldn't doubt that, and I wouldn't doubt that this slowdown that a lot of people have seen, and maybe you haven't seen it. Maybe your sales are so good that you haven't seen. Maybe your sales would be even better if some of your sellers or your buyers weren't dealing with some of these glitches. I think it's affecting everyone across the board. I just wonder how many people have items still in their cart. How many people have tried to pay and weren't allowed to pay due to a glitch? And, something we'll never know. Even if it happens to you as a buyer, I mean, how widespread is it? Sellers have a better feel for when that kind of thing happens, because we're constantly seeing the glitch because we're constantly doing that thing. So we'll never know how the buyers have been affected with these site glitches, but I keep hearing things that is a thing with buyers. Duncan says, there is a scammer who claimed I double charged them, then was trying to tell me to cancel one of the orders, highlighting that he had once paid for. I called him a cheat as I had already shipped. Yeah, if you shipped it, and unless you do see a double transaction, maybe you shipped one and didn't ship the other. But one thing you got to understand is sometimes these buyers might see it as a double charge on their credit card. We used to get that all the time at Amtrak. People would call up and they'd buy a ticket on the train, and then they'd call us and say, well, why is it showing twice? And we didn't see it, of course, but we'd had to contact. It would get to my level. We'd have to contact the bank. The bank would say, yeah, it's showing twice. And then, of course, we'd have to send them a letter saying that we only received one charge and to release the funds, blah, blah, blah.
I refuse to transfer them to support desk because I just told them that will drop off. It's just a pending charge. It will drop off within 3 to 5 business days.
Yeah.
And then, thank God, in 15 years, I never had to.
So chances are, Duncan, that it could be just they're seeing a double charge on their card and it's eBay's doing, and that merchants have about 3 days to claim a charge. So, for instance, if you go to the store right now and use your debit card, when you come home, you'll see it's pending. So the store has like 72 hours to actually submit the correct amount. Or let's say you go to a restaurant and the bill's $40, but you leave a $10 tip. It's actually 50, but they ring it up as 40. They have like 3 days to make that adjustment to the bank. And so you'll see that adjusted amount later. But in the interim, it's a pending charge. Sometimes you'll see double charges. You just have to wait for that secondary charge to fall off. And I think that could be what your buyer is looking at. It doesn't make them a cheat, but I mean, not knowing that, it does seem kind of fishy. But I'm willing to bet there's something going on the eBay side of things that is causing a misunderstanding.
And
I like to think of this. Look, there's bad people out there.
Glass half full, but
there's bad people out there. But if you look at the totality of buyers out there, I'd say it's less than 1% of people who are scammers. I know that there's going to be a lot of people that maybe dispute that fact, but I really think the number's low. And because it happens infrequently, and when it does happen, it really stings. It does seem like it's more than that, but I really think it's a very, very small number. Tommy says about that guy who trolled me, I would have asked him where the rest of his sales are.
Believe me, I said a lot out loud, but I didn't type it all.
Duncan says, with 17,000 feedback, I still get the odd people trying to scam. Don't know how these people live with themselves. Yeah, they do. You just got to use your experience and weed those people out. That's the best way to do it. Woody's Comic Chest, I really appreciate your information and sharing your experiences with everyone. Very informative and instructive, to say the least. I just declined an $80 offer due to no feedback or profile. But what's the worst, Woody, that you're going to see if you accepted that offer? Now, assuming, look, if you're going to do it for $80 and you're trying to get 400, then certainly I understand. But let's say $80 is a fair offer, right? And you make some money off of it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You wait 4 days and you just, relist it or sell similar and get it back up for sale. But there's a chance that if you're responding to the offer in a timely manner, they're going to jump on it. And again, it could be one of those people that see that item on Google search, had no intention on shopping on eBay, never shopped. We have a generation of younger people who don't even know much about eBay. That was a really big thing back in like the 2000s, right? eBay was like that, Amazon. And in fact, there's a point in time when eBay was more noticeable than Amazon. Amazon really came into their own in the 2000s. You have a newer generation of folks who really are serious about buying that item, and they're going on eBay for the first time. And if you decline a fair offer because you're concerned about that, you're maybe losing out on opportunities. So I would reconsider, give everyone a fair shot, unless you see their feedback, because that's another thing you can do. You can, if they do have feedback, see how many times They leave negatives for
But it didn't
sellers,
happen.
that type of, I'm just saying, but you could do those kind of things as well. Let's see if I can get to some comments here. Tommy says, my 90-day is 4 Starbucks gift cards and a pair of shoes. What now? Thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, come on. How are you going to take that? Someone sends you a screenshot of their sales and says, that's what I thought. I mean, how else can you take it?
It's like,
that's not an attack. Well, what do you think? I said, then how relevant was it for you to take a screenshot of your sales? Nick Garris says, appreciate the great content. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Let's see. Fairfan says, Stubby probably drives a lifted truck.
Believe me, I said a lot of.
I wish I could show you the guy's photo. He does fit the description. I could tell you that.
If we were out to blast him all over,
I'm not. Otherwise, I'd give you his entire profile.
His picture right here.
Not trying to ruin some guy's eBay life. Just trying to, if he is watching, which is a chance, but I doubt it. You got to do better, and don't shame other sellers. Maybe, I mean, look, there's going to be people there's always going to be one person who's better than you at reselling, and you might have 100,000 in sales last 90 days and think you're on the top of the world, and here comes someone with 500,000. So, well, it's few and far between, but they're out there, and yeah, you don't want to get into that kind of battle with somebody. It just you're always going to find someone who's going to have a better setup than you, and it's shameful. I think it's just shameful to put yourself in that position. Hellhammer says, had eBay take down a listing today for a UPS hat. I never knew that was prohibited item. I'm wondering if the message said that maybe UPS had you take it down. It could be like an employee hat. Maybe they don't want someone to look. I remember seeing a story a while back where there's people dressing up as UPS and they're doing the porch pirate thing. Maybe it's tied into, they just don't want people to have the authentic uniforms. Truman says, are the toilet seats branded the pretty pooper seat? No.
They should be.
No. No. But it's just weird. Look, if I had to live my life, look, guys, and I'm just saying this, maybe you're in this position right now, but if I had to roll around my house with a hole in my seat, I don't know, just end it now. Just put something in my soup. I don't know.
Only you guys knew how we differentiate the types of seats that we do have. The way that he described some of them.
I don't call them commodes.
No.
And I won't say it on YouTube, so you figure it out. Hey, honey, I sold another. Yeah.
The one with the.
And it starts with shh. Okay, I'll let you figure it out. Thomas says, can only sell old logos on certain uniforms. That's what I thought. I thought some companies will say, no, you need to take that down. Devon says sourcing lower is so much better. I agree. It's takes a lot of pressure off. Look, if I'm sitting on an item, who wants to sell an item for what they bought it for because it's been sitting in your store for 6 months? Or it's like someone made me an offer where I can make 3x instead of 10x, but I can move it and learn from it. So it's easier to take that low ball offer when it's still making you money, if that makes sense. Art says, is it odd what sell? Bought a vintage office stapler for $1, sold next day for $45 last week.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
They sell.
Jackie missed the beginning, but it's okay. You can always go back and watch it again. Mad Hatter's Boutique says, I only buy items I can sell for 3-4x the cost. $5 item sell for $20, $10 items for $30, $40. So I can profit around 15 to 20.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I still buy items like that, but try to get more X's in there. Can you get 6, 7x, 10x? That's where it's at. That's the sweet spot to me. Mad Hatter says, or is it not worth the time spent on picks, cropping, listing, storage, shipping? If you can sell for 10x, you got a jackpot item. But again, you can negotiate that. Go to a yard sale. What do you want for this item? Oh, we want $5. Okay, put it aside. What do you want for this? I want 3. put it aside, and you're creating a bundle. So now you have a big lot of items. So what deal can you give me on all these? You'll be surprised that $5 item turns into a $2 item. That $3 item turns into a $2 item or a $1 item. And now instead of counting everything individually, like, okay, I'll take it, here's 5, I'll take it, here's 3, and you're buying as you go through the yard sale, you bundle it, and instead of spending 50, you're spending 20 or 30 and severely dropping down the cost of your goods. And that's a tactic I love to use. Of course, it requires you to want more than one thing from their yard sale, but if you find multiple things that catch your eye and have resell that's resellable according to the comps, or you know for a fact that that particular item sells, then bundling will help a motivated seller at a yard sale give you a good deal. And Febraro says, Paper Mart is a good source for shipping supplies on the West Coast. Have always been happy with their quality.
Paper Mart.
Yeah, haven't heard of them. I can tell you that we are working with a new sponsor to the channel. And of course, it's going to require that we like the product. So we don't sponsor products that we don't use ourselves. So we're in that phase right now. Before we talk about them specifically, it's something I'm kind of excited about. But there's a lot of good companies out there with good stuff. One real quick thing, though, about this topic of, buying stuff. Is it worth buying? Check out Art of Resell's videos. Love the guy, Art. He's a local out here in Vegas. He does a great job.
Funny as hell.
He does a great job in just bundling, just watching his, what do you want for this? What do you want for that? What do you want for this? What do you want for that? He puts it all in a pile and says, what can we do for all this? Right. So you're kind of expecting the seller to give you a deal, or you can say, what kind of deal can you give me if I buy all these right now? And you'll be surprised the kind of deal you're going to get.
Yeah.
Devin says, eBay is still my main platform. Mm-hmm. Same here.
Mm-hmm.
Hellhammer says that hat was officially licensed, but if it looks close enough to a driver's hat, they may not want you to have it for sale. Duncan says, in my niche, which is all of one-off items, I see other sellers with stuff selling too cheap. I buy their item and resell for double or triple the buy price. I do know there's people who go onto eBay who look for items that are like, wow, this thing, they're selling for $10. I'll see it when I'm doing a research on an item. I'll see solds like 1 or 2 items that sold, wow, way cheap. And, there's buyers out there who will buy to resell those mistakes. Got to remember, there's people who have no idea how eBay works. Maybe they get this thing for free. They're willing to move on it for $20, have no idea that the comps say it's worth 80 because they haven't looked. Yep, that's a thing that we do. And people will continue using those devices, whether it's Summer Slowdown or not, right?
Yeah, believe it or not, it's a necessity and people need them.
Sylvia says, hi guys, good evening. Thanks for being here, Sylvia. Woody says, ball caps and trucker caps are flying off my shelves. Some with Haynes and Chilton's auto repair manuals. Collectors, maybe, quite possibly. Mm-hmm. Manuals do sell. People like those. I do see those. I grab them when I can. SK says, should I sell bed sheets on eBay? How's the response? What's my average price for queen size bed? Please respond. You got to do research on that. Yeah. I've got a good amount of information in my head, but to answer that question, I would do what I would have you do. And that is go on, do a search for that item and click on the solds tab down the left side, or in the filter on your app, and see what that item is sold for, and then price it accordingly. Yeah. Guy Guru says, Chilton's always move for me. I've never heard of Chilton's. Callie Deb says, Jenna and Posh take advantage of closet clear out on Fridays and Sundays. Price your items high enough to sustain that.
So, okay, I guess I don't really pay attention to it, so I don't know. Is that a one of the parties? A closet clear out? Is that a party? Maybe she can answer if she's still on.
Thomas says, when you share on Posh, it puts you on top of everyone's search results, not just followers.
Right.
I have great Posh sales with not a lot of followers. Also, I never share or follow others. But it's just kind of cool to have like 200,000 people following you. And we've had that for a long. I think it's really cool. Johnny Lightning says, thumbs up, cha-ching. All right, got a sale.
Woo-hoo.
Hit that like button, get the sale, guys. Steve Poste says, these lives always motivate me to get back to listing. Yeah, I mean, look, after we're done here,
I'm sure Kina will be happy about that.
Yeah, after we're done here, I'm going to go out in the garage. I've got a bunch of stuff in my car. I got to move. And look, there's things that I guess I'd rather be doing. Watch some TV, just chill. But I'm in the mood to list. I want to get these. I had a good sales day yesterday. I had a good sales day the day before. Today isn't, for whatever reason, as hot. Maybe just people are back to work. $277 sales day. The day ain't over. So I realized, look, I sold like 16 or 17 items over the weekend on my main account. That's 16 or 17. 17 good items. Most of them are pretty good that aren't in my store anymore. People are buying what's left. I need to restock my store if I want to see my numbers continue the way they're doing. So I'll be out there after this show doing that. Keena says, well, these lives help break up a little of monotony. Yep, I agree. See, Tommy says, I'm not opening the app for $4 personally. Can only just list so many per day, make them count. I agree. I think that's one of the biggest things that we can do is start trying to focus on buying. I mean, if you already have low ASP items, then just like we do, we still try to sell them, but add higher ASP stuff, guys. Make it a point. You know what? I've got enough of this $10 stuff in my store, $5 stuff in my store. I think next time when I go to source at the yard sale, I'm going to pass on those items. I'm going to look at things that, according to the comps, sell for more than $20 plus shipping, right? If you're building and shipping, say over $30. Start focusing on that kind of thing and new things that meet that criteria. Because chances are, if you're selling $5 and $10 off stuff, you probably don't have a lot of stuff that's $25, $30 that's similar to what you're selling. So that means you're going to have to go into something that has promise that you have no knowledge of and start getting uncomfortable. I put that video out yesterday because, I wish I could, I think I did share it on my Instagram, but it's Steve Harvey, the comedian, not Price is Right, but Family Feud. What am I thinking? But Steve Harvey once said, you have to be uncomfortable to succeed. And you just have to get uncomfortable and stop being comfortable. Okay. And, whatever that means to you, whatever uncomfortable means to you is going to be different from how Tommy feels uncomfortable. But if you want to improve your situation, you cannot be in cruise control. It doesn't work.
I don't think Tommy gets uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Tommy says, John is a beast at putt-putt. Actually, that's kind of one of my, that's my weaknesses is putting, but I'm getting better.
Yeah. And tell him about what I said. He asked me if he should putt or what was he?
Or chip.
Or chip. And
yeah. I was on the side of the green and I'm all, well, should I putt or chip? And she said, well, you can't putt with the damn. You might as well chip it. So I tried to chip it and I duffed it, but I made the putt, the last putt, which is really crazy. Yeah. But Noah Designs says, Kina can't think of it like that. Think of it as money coming in when you list good items. Let's see here. Tommy says the bunny had 2 ears, but never heard John yell for. The last time I was out there, yeah. Here's a true story, guys. Here's a true story. Should I even talk about it?
What are you even talking about?
All right. I'd say about 5 or 6 years ago, I was playing golf with my dad.
Oh.
I hit a drive and it veered off to the left and it went over the trees. And there's some houses with some like wrought iron fences. It went over the fence. And so I hit another one, but I went to go see, maybe I got lucky and it bounced back into play. So I approached this backyard and there was a pit bull laying there in the backyard and a golf ball not far from it. And I'm like, I don't think that's right. And hopefully the dog's sleeping, but if I'm approaching his backyard fence, normally a dog would be at attention to that. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just keep going. So we played out. 2 weeks later, I was there at the golf course with some friends and walked by that fence. Dog wasn't there anymore. So that's a true story. I felt so bad, but I don't know.
It makes me mad.
Yeah. But so that could definitely have happened with that bunny. So Cassandra says
no, it didn't happen with the bunny.
One time my dog ate a bunny whole. I was both stunned and impressed at the same time.
Yeah.
Just Sally says, I don't accept offers on 99% of my items. I send offers with counter offers off. This works best for me and it keeps my temper in check. Yes. When I'm sending offers to watchers, I will go in and turn off. It's funny. On the PC, there's no option to turn it off. I don't think it's allowing counters. On the app, you have to go in, and before you send submit, you got to go in and click turn counters off.
Really annoying.
Because I'm just saying, look, this is what I'm taking for it. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And you get a boost in search when you send offers to watchers. There's been many times you send an offer to watcher, and the next morning you wake up, it sells at full price.
Yeah.
Mark Sudick says, tell the guy on toilet seats, good for you, selling higher price. Save me as a seller and buy my stock at a great low price and flip it. That's a good point. Truman says, I can see that y'all have not watched Part-Time Pickery. Sells vintage tampons and pads in the box. He gets big money on them.
Yeah.
I've seen his videos, but there's so many channels out there.
There are so many channels. That's why I can't keep up with all of them.
Yeah, I can barely keep up with this one.
Yeah.
Tommy says, Jenna, John doesn't realize he's one of the minimalists. It's too much to start a sale daily for him. Bless his heart. Look, I'm going to try it. Look, I'm going to schedule one. Look, I guess you could do it daily, but you could schedule it 6 months out. Take an hour and just go through and set up your sales on a daily basis if you want. But, I'll give it a shot. Why not? Woody says, I turned off international shipping and stop. I waited for 2 days and nothing. Turned back on and gosh darn it cranked back up tenfold. But there you go. I'm not going to do it until they get these bugs worked out. So I'm going to give it a couple more months. And I don't know if I got to sell or not. I got things. I guess I have my ringer off, but nonetheless. Thomas says, sellers and buyers don't remotely use eBay in the same way. I agree with you 100%. Have you seen Roman here? Tommy says, Roman is unloading his shipping containers of future brides. Wow. Kenji says, how many times did you use the eBay seller protection when the buyer returned the wrong item before they stopped that coverage? Are you talking about before they went in and said, look, as sellers, you can use the refund tool to take 50%? Was probably a couple times, but it's not very often. I mean, it's a very small percentage. I get returns, and rarely do I feel like I got scammed. Most people are honest. I mean, okay, let me just say it this way. Most people won't go as far as swapping out your item for something else. Yes, of course it happens. I made videos on it before, but more people are apt to lie. Like, I broke this and like the toilet seats, I broke it, putting it together or sitting on it. And now it's your problem as a seller to replace it. More people are more apt to do that kind of thing than swapping your item out. See here if I can kind of catch up a little bit. We got Richard saying, hey, just made a sale 5 minutes after I liked the stream. The magic is real. I can't explain it. It just works. What else do we got here? Simple Beautiful says, is there any legal implication to provide private labeling product in the US? So if you're maybe contracting to a company through like say China to produce items for you, and you don't put a copyright on it, then you run the risk of someone else copying your design, maybe improving upon it. It's a thing on Amazon. I don't know how rampant that is anymore, but it's the thing that stopped me initially back in 2019 from trying to maybe sell my own private label type of thing. But I don't know if there's necessarily any legal implications unless you've maybe had an item created that is too close to an item that has been trademarked, that type of thing. So, something you want to be careful about. What's this? John's Pretty in Pink Throne?
That's a new name for your throne.
Oh, okay. What throne?
We've been
Callie
talking
Debs.
about shitters
Oh,
the
okay.
whole
Well,
fucking
you
show.
had to say the S word. I didn't. Callie Deb says, no, you drop your price 10% and Posh covers a shipping discount. Okay. Sue is here. Better late than never. Better late than never. I agree. It's always good to have you here. Riding the porcelain bus. The wheels on the bus go round and round. Wow. The mad scientist says, sometimes I get my best deals off eBay. So far, my biggest profit was about $10,000 from one eBay purchase that I'm still in the process of selling.
Wow.
Pretty good.
That's awesome.
Tommy says, if you do a closet clear out, you won't be able to send offers again after you raise prices back. Catch 22. Have to end relist to get around it.
Oh, that's terrible.
JW Retro says, I'm in the mood to get them gains. Yes. Bees Pick Overs says, the only way I buy is bundling. That's why I have a death pile that's never ending. Besides the fact I only do eBay part-time. The problem is we outbuy our selling, and that's a listing habit. That's a listing problem. You got to get yourself in the zone of listing. Find a way to get it. For me, it's my music. I'll put my music out, and that just a switch flips on, and I'm just motivated just to, don't be someone walking by my house, because you might call 911 thinking there's a murder scene going on. But for me, it just gets me going, and you got to find whatever that it does. Like this one, she doesn't want to list so often. You don't want to list as often as you can.
Don't say this one. I am the one.
The one. She doesn't want to. It's finding ways to get her motivated to list. And look, I have 2 accounts. My main focus is on the main account. My secondary clearance aisle account ain't getting the kind of love, maybe once in a while from me, but I'm certainly not going to do both accounts when I can spend that time on what's making the money, and just the way it is. So find a way to get yourself motivated to get those items listed. Look, you can't sell an item that's sitting in a box in your garage. Maybe once it's listed, if it's sitting in the box in your garage, but until it's listed, nobody knows you have it for sale. So you got to get it listed. Tim Clark, after 15 years, I quit eBay due to $3,600 returns. Sellers have no protection anymore. Look, I had a $1,200 return, and it wasn't even a return. They opened a chargeback. It was money taken out of my account for like almost 3 months, and it was found in my favor. I fought it. It sucks, but if you look at the bigger picture, I'm sure if you're selling a $3,600 item, you're selling quite a bit throughout the course of a year, and $3,600 is just a very small percentage of your overall sales. J-Dub says, you're probably standing in a 10-foot pile of hokas, doing good over here with international shipping off or on, LOL. And the fact that he said hokas, I think that he's talking about Tommy. Just Sally says, I have no problem selling large items, heavy, one kind of a kind. I can make a profit. It's legal. I will sell it. Yeah.
It's legal.
Legal. Yep. Got to be legal. Ping G, how you doing, Ping? I use a PC for eBay, and when I send an offer to a watcher, I can turn on and off accepting a counter offer. Yep. Mm-hmm. Wanda says, if anyone finds some vintage Flickr ladies razors, let me know. Flickr? Never heard of that one before. Picky Ricky drove over a bunny once.
Aww.
My girlfriend was like, at least it was wild and not someone's cat. I was like, that bunny had a family and kids to fend for. She didn't like me after that.
Is that why you're single?
Oh,
you ran over a bunny?
Leonard Kosakowski says, did anyone see the bubble video about the shortage from 4 different companies? I heard about it. I saw Kevin, Commonwealth Picker. He talked about it a little bit. It's no surprise. Look, companies are cutting corners, and I think the middleman, who is the company that's selling it to you, once it gets to them, aren't even aware of it. I don't think these companies are complicit. I think it's the suppliers who are cutting corners because, like bubble wrap. I was talking to Joel from American Bubble Boy. There's not a lot of margin in bubble wrap. Okay. It's like very small amount.
Yeah.
And just think about it from the supplier standpoint. They cut corners, they cut 10 feet off of their roll, they send it in. Nobody's the wiser unless they throw it in a field and start measuring it, right? They save a lot of money by doing that to every single roll. And I don't like American Bubble Boy. I think they finished like the tops on that little test. I mean, I think they were also a victim of it too. But nobody's going to start measuring rolls until the buyers do. And in this case, it doesn't shed a very good light on the industry as a whole. But I think there's some very good people. I think Joel's one of those that are very, very good people. I've had conversations with him. Again, I just think it's the supplier who's maybe cutting some corners and hoping that people won't notice, and they finally have. Thrift Alcoholic for you all sorts says, I have many buyers through the years.
Alcoholic, it's thriftaholic.
Spaces are good to have. Thriftaholic for you all sorts. I've had many buyers through the years that I was skeptical they may be scamming by the messages they send. Turn out they were some great buyers, so be careful jumping to conclusions. Yep.
It's like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
Josh is obviously we didn't have control over that buyer. Said they complained to eBay and got refunded for it. Thomas says Jenna does shipping and one account. John does one account and complains about starting a little markdown sale. Oof. Hey, look, what works for me works for me. The 2 weeks works for me. I'm happy with it.
Hey, but let's do a trial.
Do it on your account. Okay. Devon says, John and Jen, great live stream. You guys get me motivated. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Design says, Jesus, John is drunk.
On crack. What's with the defamatory stuff?
No, look, he's not.
No, I'm just joking. I said thriftaholic, thrift alcoholic for usual sorts.
You were adding in A's and L's everywhere.
Jerry says, thank you, John, for the laugh. Yes, I'm good for that. Again, someone needs to get me a subscription to Hooked on Phonics.
Yes, it is not just here, though. He does it in real life, too.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm not wearing my contacts, so that might be it, too.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, we've had a great almost 2 hours of chat with you guys. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark.
I hope the mail lady came.
You didn't check?
I did. I've checked twice, and she didn't come yet.
The packages are still out there?
Yes.
Uh-oh. So that's not good.
I forgot to tell you.
Yeah. So, guys, look. eBay, it's one of those things where you're going to have a summer slowdown for most of us. Now, someone like Tommy or other people may not encounter that kind of thing. They're slowdown proof. But a lot of it's dependent on what you're selling. That's 100% on what you're selling. One seller is going to have a slowdown, another seller's not. And then you kind of wonder, well, why is that? It's because you're selling the wrong things. Now, maybe to you, they're the right things, but to the market, it's not what's conducive to making good sales during the summer. I've made the changes that I made. I'm hopeful. I'm seeing nothing but good results. Maybe this is what's going to carry me through the summer months, the summer slowdown. But there's a number of different strategies, selling different things, maybe listing more of the things you have, playing the numbers game. But these are things that you have to figure out. And yet, just another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your week. And we will have this discussion maybe on a different topic, but we'll be back on Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And of course, don't forget, I make videos throughout the week as well. So we'll talk to you then and have a great rest of your week, everyone.
Have a great week, guys.